All right, what's up, game changers? Happy Monday to you. Guys, we've got an awesome call here planned. My name is Austin Nestle, for those of you that don't know. Peter is on a plane right now. He's bummed that he couldn't make it, but don't worry. We've got some amazing people here that are going to help us have an awesome conversation about marketing and about exploding your business here in 2018 and beyond. So we've got my man and partner in the inner circle, Mr. Mark Lack, as well as expert in the marketing space, Mr. Billy Jean. But Mark, you and Billy have worked really closely together. So I want you to kind of set the stage for what we're going to talk about here today, but also introduce Billy.
So there's two things that are happening right now, I think, online. One of them is that it's getting very noisy and crowded. Everybody's trying to, figure out how to succeed online. I think you probably resonate with this. You're probably running ads online. You've tried this. You're trying to create content. You're trying to figure out the landscape of how to succeed online to grow your business and to grow your impact in the world. And there's only three ways that you can really do that through traffic. You can buy traffic, you can borrow traffic, you can create traffic. We've got what I believe to be is one of the modern day Mozart of buying traffic through entertaining content. So buying traffic online is getting more competitive, and we're going to hear from one of the best guys in the game right now. But the other thing is standing out online through entertaining content with advertising is something that Billy's one of the best guys in the world at. So what I want you to do is I want you to think as Billy's talking, what is the one question I have that I could ask Billy that if he were to give me the answer to could unlock opportunities in my business to reach more people, to impact more people, and to generate more sales in your business? Because something that Billy's one of the best guys in the world at, and I have a very broad network of successful people I know, and I go to Billy for these questions, is how can I get people to buy more of my stuff? Billy's one of the best guys in the world at that. To give you a quick little background, just 4 years ago, Billy was having, I'll say some things that maybe aren't 100% accurate, but Billy didn't have any money in his bank account. He was living with his parents.
It's accurate. It's accurate.
didn't have any money in his bank account, was living with his parents. And within about 4 years, Billy's become one of the most sought after marketing agencies to go to for small business entrepreneurs, all the way up to enterprise companies looking for insight, looking for strategies and tactics that are working today to entertain people online in a fun way that brings them into ultimately buying your products and services. Billy's crushing the game. He's on track to do close to, if not already, $10 million a year.
We're gonna be shy. We're gonna miss by a few million, but next year we'll
be just shy. But he's on track. We're all gonna have the most successful years of our 2018 and beyond. Billy's on track to have a $10 million year, if not way more in 2018.
Yeah.
Without further ado, let's let the man, Billy Jean, talk. We're gonna just kind of do an open dialogue. So again, I want to leave you with, what is the one question that if you could ask the best marketer right now, and he answered it, it could just totally blow up your business and change it. So sit on the bench until you come up with what that question is. But Billy, take it away, brother.
First thing I have to understand: am I allowed to curse on this, or no cursing? Do I do which line am I walking here?
You are allowed to say whatever you're called to say. We want people to leave with value. And if it takes cursing to like drive a point home, like let's do it. Like,
okay, so that means I'm not gonna curse that much. I know. I'm gonna hold my tongue. I was just getting the vibe. So I think how I can deliver the most value to you guys is it would be fun to do like a round robin where you guys kind of ask me anything, and I will give you tactical answers in regards to what you do. So to piggyback off of a little bit of what Austin and Mark were saying is pretty much, I believe I'm one of the best in the world when it comes to using paid advertisements to find customers for your business. So I've dealt a lot with brick and mortars. I've done a lot with like online courses and coaching and all of those things. And so using Facebook, Instagram, and really YouTube, you guys, I'm telling you, and I've said it so many times, everyone is missing when it comes to YouTube. No one's using it. The hype right now is Facebook. One thing that you always see me do as a marketer is when everybody zigs, I zag. Facebook, I'm over here on YouTube. And when everybody finally plays catch, I'm like, dude, this YouTube stuff. I'm like, yeah, I told you, we're gonna be on to the next thing. And so let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's use our time to just literally help your community and dive in.
And if I was gonna say, if anybody doesn't have any questions, then Austin and I will sort of extract what we think are really powerful things that Billy could share with you. So again, if you have questions, definitely this is your opportunity to jump in. But if you don't, Austin and I already have a dialogue that we're going to direct the conversation through.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the first thing that I want to ask you here, Billy, is like for your brand. And one of the biggest things that we talk about as far as building influence and marketing is owning a phrase in the mind of your consumer. And you're in the process, if you don't already do it, owning the word marketing, which is huge, right? How did you go about that? And talk about the importance of owning a phrase in the mind of your consumer.
That's a dope question. No one's asked me that before, and I like it a lot because I think there's a lot of value I can bring with that. So I'll have a fun story for you guys, especially for y'all who have started with zero in your head. So 4 years ago, as Mark mentioned, when I was living at my mom's house, I was still a student of marketing, right? Like I saw like the Frank Kerns and all the people who were the biggest in the space doing all these, and Jeff Walker, and they're doing all these product launches and stuff. And I saw that. I was envious, I was jealous, and I wanted to do what they were doing. But for me, marketing was missing something, and it was missing a bit of a kind of cool factor, and it didn't have a representative. So for example, if you think of actor, you're going to think of people right away. Tom Cruise, Kevin Hart, The Rock, like, you know, who's ever the biggest. When you think of music, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, like Dr. Dre, Drake, that when you think of marketing, pause. When you think of marketing, doesn't exist. You may think of entrepreneurship, Mark Cuban, Elon Musk, right? But there was no one on marketing. And I saw marketing as this kind of erupting industry, like it's going to blow up big. And so what really sold me on Billie Jean is marketing and naming the company that was freaking Tyler Perry. So I don't care if you guys like Tyler Perry movies or not. Some of his movies are corny, some are funny, whatever. The guy is still worth $500 million, whether you like him or not. But I'm like, how did he blow up? And here's how. He took paid advertisements and made it his. In every single movie he's ever created, Tyler Perry decided to put his name in the title. So it was never just Madea goes to jail. It was Tyler Perry presents X, Y, and Z. Tyler Perry. So here he is. He's got these studios, NBC, the biggest production studios in the world, saying his name every single time. And as a result, he's one of a handful of directors who you know by name. The other ones you know by name are like James Cameron, some of the richest, most successful films in the world ever done. So I saw this and I was like, are you guys kidding me? This guy literally stole free advertisement by putting his name in the thing, and now he's one of the most recognized names in the world, regardless if you like his movies or not. Wow. So I saw that when I was sitting at home, and I saw the opportunity of like there was no personality in marketing. So I was like, you know what? I want to fill that gap. So I actually made a decision to say Billie Jean is marketing, because I want everyone, literally when they even have the conversation, by default, they have to come and say my name, because I just trained them to. So we'll spend $100,000 to $200,000 a month on our personal brand, just reminding people that, oh yeah, by the way, Billie Jean is marketing. So when they want to learn how to do marketing, they come to us. When they need to hire someone, they come to us. If they want to hire someone else, you can still come to us and we'll refer them accordingly. So that was kind of like the logic, and it's paid off, because we've stuck consistent to it. And like take this year, it just got confirmed that I'll be speaking at Traffic and Conversion Summit 2017 and Social Media Marketing World. Social Media Marketing World has a lot of speakers. Traffic and Conversion TNC doesn't. If you look at the lineup, it's almost everyone who works at their company. I've never met Ryan Dice before, which is their chief officer. Like, I've never met him. I've never met Molly, their VP. How can I get the green light to speak on their stage? I've never met the people, ever. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Tyler Perry, I didn't know he was going to make an intro here. But all you need is to connect the dots with somebody else. If somebody else has done it, beautiful. That's
and I'm going to jump in real quick, because this is one of the things that I preach all the time with personal branding. And it's really the same concept of marketing. What he's talking about and what stood out to me is the first step in the process to growing your business, I think, is getting more people to know about you. I have this philosophy that if I was going to break out conceptually what it is basically if 1,000 people know who you are, they know you exist, and approximately 10% of them like you, you've got 100 people that like you. And if 10% of those people that like you trust you, you've got 10 people that trust you. So 1,110. Now, if we just got 1 million people to know you, which he's talking about, Tyler Perry, right? He's got 100 million people that know him. Billie Jean is spending millions of dollars a year just so that people associate Billie Jean to marketing. So if we didn't do anything different, but get 1 million people to know you, know your face, your name, your business, your product, your service, your offer, what you stand for, what makes you better, what makes you different. 1 million people now know that.
Yep.
Approximately 100,000 will like you and 10,000 will trust you. It's just law of averages. It's the same proportion. We're just making the amount of people that know you much bigger. And Billy is so good at teaching people, especially his whole thing is YouTube. That's the place to be to get people to know you. It's so much cheaper. It's so much easier. So we'll keep guiding the conversation, but that's the simple first step, I think, in building your business is let's just get more people to know about it and you'll be more successful.
Dude, 100%. That's correct. And one way to do it, because a lot of people say, you know what, I love to run ads, but I don't have the budget, etc. But let's take YouTube, for example. A couple tips. Most people don't realize that pre-roll ads, like the ads that show up before you're about to watch whatever you're about to watch on YouTube, and it says you can skip over this within 5 seconds. In-stream ads is what they're called. Those advertisements can cost you $0. Meaning, unless someone actually spends 30 seconds watching your pre-roll, you're not billed. So the people who watch 17 seconds, dude, I could say a lot of shit in 17 seconds. What's up? My name is Billy Gene. I am marketing, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You click away. I just got free advertisements from YouTube. And then let's say someone does decide to do the whole 30 seconds. I could bid accordingly and tell YouTube, I don't want to pay any more than 3 cents to get that. And then something that Mark talks about a lot is it's not just about people knowing, it's about like who knows you, right? So you can get so targeted on YouTube with who actually is paying attention to you. So you can only show ads to other entrepreneurs or other publications or other people who are in your field. So it matters when you get a view. It's not just a view to have a view. A lot of people want views just to have a view. You want a like to have a like. These are people who can potentially buy your product or service. So, you know, money should not be holding you back. That shouldn't be the thing to hold you back.
Yep. So Billy, let's answer this. If somebody, of course, doesn't maybe have $100,000 or $200,000 a month that they want to spend, but they got $2,000, what's that general ratio that they should spend versus awareness, versus lead capture, versus sales? What's some different percentages?
That's a cool question. So guys, I'm different in this, Mark. So what I'm about to tell you is going to be a little bit different than the advice that you may have heard before. So most traditional marketing, it sounds something like this. You know, you spend an X amount of dollars and all you should be really doing is introducing yourself to people. Right? Kind of saying who you are, give value. They say, give a lead magnet or something like that, blah, blah, blah. And that's true. And it does work. And it works very well. And it works well for people. However, I believe you can do everything while still selling at the same time. So in other words, we run advertisements. So the first time anybody's ever heard of us. And at the end of that, I will sell you something. But only after spending 20 minutes just educating to you. I come from a school where I'm a salesman, like born and raised. I think you should be selling every single time you interact with your audience. But it's not about just selling. It's about how you sell. So when I sell, I crack a lot of jokes. I talk a lot of smack. You know, I'm always like calling people out. I have fun with it. So when I offer and pitch someone, it's like, all right, Billy, come on, bring on the pitch. We know you're going to offer us something. It's high energy. People are happy and they're ready for it and they like it. So like if you guys can make your pitch fun as opposed to the part of the presentation of like think about it. If you show someone 30 video, it's like this. Let's go back to the like the dating example that everybody does, and I'll flip it to you in a different way. Guys, the guys that are here and ladies if you're here too, but guys specifically, how many of you are guilty of putting yourself in the friend zone because you didn't make a move fast enough? Meaning you went on a date with the girl once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. You were really connecting mentally, but you never made it physical. You never put your hand on her shoulder. You never opened the door. You never held hands. You never went in for the kiss. You never hugged. You never got physical. So then when you're 6 dates later, if you were to touch her, it's now awkward because you didn't put yourself in friend zone. You do the same thing in sales though, where you freaking talk to these people 10 times. You've never asked them to buy something. So now when you ask their credit card, they're, oh my God, how dare he? You're my friend. Stop. No, we don't buy stuff from you. Stop. No, you're the one I trust. Don't be like them. You put yourself in the friend zone. We call it the no buy zone. Don't do that right from the beginning. Oh, if you come into my zone, you're going to buy.
Right.
You come on a date with me, we're going to cuddle. Like expectations set them, and all of a sudden things like happen. Obviously, you don't want to necessarily say it like that, but you know.
I'm never going to see your marketing again without thinking of cuddling with you. So
something I want to point out as a distinction, though, about what Billy's saying to really make some clarity happen here for you is the real difference that Billy's talking about is if you actually truly in your heart believe that what you have to provide will make a difference in this person's life, then Billy, Austin, and I'm speaking for Peter as well, who's not here, we believe that you have a moral responsibility to sell these people on your products and services only if you know that that person is a good fit for your service and that they will be impacted by it. Then you have to sell. That's the big point here. That's why Billy finds a fun way to make sure he can serve people. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the times people don't necessarily want to take their credit card out and make the decision. They need a little bit of guidance. People are more likely to buy if you tell them to buy. Yeah. And so it's just really important for you to remember that if you don't ask, that's probably one of the reasons why your sales aren't where they could be. You got to ask for that, but do it in a fun way that makes the person know you actually care about them. If you're selling somebody, they don't feel like you care about them. If you do it in a fun way and you say, hey, look, if you're this type of person, you're struggling with this, you want these results, we can help you with our services. And if it doesn't work, we'll give you a full refund, but we care about you. We want to help you. Billy does that in everything he does, and he does it in a fun way. So remember, if you know your service helps people, then you have a moral responsibility to ethically sell these people.
100%, man. That's real.
Beautiful. Billy, zero in 4 years getting to a $10 million pace, like that's an empire. That's hitting the fast forward button. So from a business standpoint, what are some of those key levers that you implemented or did that really helped you get to, first of all, past that 7-figure mark, but ultimately towards almost $1 million a month?
Man, I'm gonna tell you guys, this is the realest thing I'm gonna tell you. Like, it's all because of advertising. See, what happens is a lot of people get caught up on organic growth, and it's a part of the game, but the challenge is it's not predictable and consistent, meaning this. If right now you guys are sitting there and you're looking at me and you're like, dude, I've never spent $1 in advertising and my business does this, only thing I can tell you is your business will always do this because you don't have any way to accelerate growth besides hoping that more people get the buzz to like give you referrals or something like that. And that's a very dangerous place to be in business where you cannot control or accelerate or ignite your business on demand. So every single time I've had a major jump in my business, it's because of an advertisement. I'll give you an example. When I was living at my mom's house, I ran one advertisement that I spent $600 on overnight on accident. I meant to spend 25. I forgot to set the budget. So then I was spending $625. And all it was just an ad of me. I gave a case study about like how I was selling some kind of physical product. And beneath the video, I said, schedule now if you'd like to talk with me. It was nothing crazy. But I ran that ad on Facebook right when Facebook newsfeed ads like came out and they were popular. And next thing you know, I had about 25 people schedule a time on my calendar to talk with me from that video for that $625 spent. So at first I was nervous because I was like, holy cow, like how am I going to deal with all these appointments? I don't know what I'm doing. But then I just started selling them. I got on the phone and I took the call with every single one of them. And no exaggeration, from that one advertising campaign, I went from $0 to $10,000 the next day. True story. Like I was imagine being at your mom's house, you make no money, but the next day you have $10,000 in your account. It was so brand new that I don't think at that point in time, if I remember correctly, I've never even processed anybody in PayPal. So when someone told me yes, I had to figure out how to collect money. That's how fast it happened. And that's what paid ads does. And that's what everyone doesn't understand. So for me, once I did that, I was like, okay, this is cool. So when I wanted more sales, what did I do? I went back into Facebook and I turned on the ad. And it was like clockwork. Every time I spent $25, somebody scheduled an appointment. Maybe $30, maybe 35, somewhere in that range, they would schedule an appointment. So I was like, holy cow. All of a sudden in my business, I don't have to worry about chasing down clients. All of a sudden, I'm not spending time doing crazy stuff like going to like a networking event, hoping that I meet somebody who's going to create that windfall of customers for me when I could create it myself with a click of a button inside of a Facebook ad, one that's working well. So I literally used the same ad for a year and a half, guys. That's the other thing people don't understand. is when you have something that works, and now it may burn out a little bit faster, but when you have something that works, it will bring you customers for freaking a long ass time. So that's what really happened to me is this, I just had a good ad campaign. And then when that one stopped working, I tried some others, they didn't work so well. And then I found another one. And then that one was the one that took me from, the 10 grand in a day to essentially building my company and da-da-da. Like every single time our company has grown. So when it went from mom's house to having my own place, to having my own place and having 6 people work out of there, to having my office with just 11 employees, to having my office today with 27 employees, it was always filled by an advertising campaign that was working every single time. And still today our business runs like that.
So I'm going to jump in on 2 things here because you can obviously tell Billy's extremely passionate about marketing, and I think it's for 2 reasons. And if you can learn to, and I've learned to adopt a similar version of belief around marketing myself, and it's 2 things. 1, the money you have sitting in your account can be working for you, just like investors, right? Investors want their money to go to work for them. Your money makes you money. And so that's number 1, is having the belief that all the money you have sitting in your account right now, whether it's $2,000 or $2 million, that money should be going to work for you. Yeah. And you can do that through effective marketing. Now, here's the other fun part. The second thing is Billy looks at marketing as a game. And so do I with content marketing or personal branding. Marketing is a game. And here's what I mean by that. The same dollars that you put to work can produce negative returns, a 100% return, a 10,000% return. So if you look at your money as 2 things, 1, it's got to go to work for you. There's going to be productive money. There's going to be non-productive money, meaning some ads are not going to produce results. Some are, and some are going to produce way better results. Here's where it becomes a game. You can create campaigns, and some of them are going to produce way better results for the same dollar. $1 might make you $8, and another dollar might lose you money. Yeah. Another dollar might bring in $2. And so Billy looks at it as a game. He's always trying to create entertaining, educating videos to see which amount of his money he can put behind those and see what the return is. What he's like, how can you gauge to see what it's going to be?
And something to piggyback off of what you're saying, Mark, realize this, you guys. Even though I'm talking like, hey, I spent 100 grand, 200 grand on my brand, it's not like I'm just taking $200,000 and transferring it into Facebook and the money's gone. Remember, all these paid advertising platforms, they're like a faucet. You turn it on, you turn it off whenever you want. So let's say I spend 5 grand in a day. If the next day I don't make that 5 grand back within like the first 24, 48 hours, maybe even sometimes same day, I don't spend the money. So literally, I just need to make enough back to keep spending for that day. That's it. So like when I'm spending 100 grand, 200 grand, it's really I'm spending 5 grand a day, but we're making 10 grand every single day. So I'm just reinvesting the same 5 grand every single day. So you have spending 200 grand a month. No, I'm really spending 5 grand every day, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. Because I'm getting money back because people are buying shit because it's working.
And like a game, as long as you're breaking even and you're having fun in the process, and then some days you're going to get a big win and other days you're not. And hopefully as the months and years go by, you get better and better at mitigating the risk of I always break even. And then I'm just trying to get a better return. And so Billy's always, messaging me.
It's controlled gambling. It really is. I don't know what else to tell people.
That's the way to look at it.
You really can't, you can only lose if you just continue to spend money on something that's not working, but nobody would do that. Like you guys know, you turn on an ad for $5 and if it didn't give you something, you're turning it off right away. So you can't really freaking lose that much money, but you can gain the world if it works. That's why literally 90% of your time, if you're not making the money that you want right now, should be on working on your sales funnel. Straight up. Like all your time should be there right now. So especially like going from 0 to 7 figures, fast way to do it is have a good sales funnel that works.
Let's talk about the sales funnel. So What does that look like? Like how quickly should people go into the webinar? I mean, so many people are mapping out these complex funnels and there's all these different things going on. What would you recommend to go?
Dude, everyone, I don't care what product you sell, the process will never change. And it's just advertise, give me your name, email, and phone number, and then pitch them something after you have it. And then continue to pitch them every single day with follow-up emails and text. You guys can give me anyone's industry here. I'll give you that same formula. Right? You can look at any business in the world, what they're doing. It's the same fucking thing, guys. Name, email, and phone number. Like, hey, I don't know, give me something to sell. You guys give me anything. I'll tell you, it's the same process. Advertise, get someone's name, email, and phone number, especially phone number for text messages. And then after you have that, ask them to buy.
So here's a question then, because I want to stop you right there before you go further in the process, is how I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you, right?
Yeah.
How do I advertise in a way that is going to make the person give me their name, email, and phone number? What am I actually doing? So any business, what am I putting on the internet to advertise that's getting these people to give me their name, email, and phone number?
Great. So always think in the mindset of problem solution. And so whenever I start any advertising campaign, I do the same simple exercise every single time, which is if you guys have a piece of paper, you can do it with me right now. But literally grab a pen, take your piece of paper, or you can do it on your touch screen, whatever you got, and draw a T, like a capitalized T on the chart, like a T chart. And on the left side, put problem. On the right side, put solution. And you want to identify the top 3 to 5 greatest problems that your ideal customer is facing. And then literally offer to solve them for free. So like if you're a chiropractor, you know, like what's the top 3 problems they have? Back pain, neck pain, and I don't know, foot pain, whatever, right? So literally, hey, come in for free. I'll take care of your back and immediately take you out of pain, and then I'll sell you a longer membership. Like that's a very basic format of it, but guys, it freaking works. Like, so a little bit of background about me is before we were really heavy in the education space, all I did was have an agency. So these chiropractors and these real estate agents and these gyms, all these Facebook campaigns, I was doing that shit 3 years ago. Like that, like literally a lot of the formats that you see people rolling out with now today, I did 3 years ago for some of the largest franchises in the world. And the formula never changed. It was solve a problem in the advertisement for free, get them to like you. Think about it. If you're really dealing with someone and someone solves that problem for you, you immediately start to like them. So that takes care of the trust factor, the like factor, and then just give you, capture their information in exchange for solving that problem. And then just ask them to buy, ask them if they want to solve more stuff. So, I mean, simplicity is the key to growth. If you guys really, really want to grow your business, and everyone talks about this word scaling. Scaling is repeatability, so you guys know. Scaling is repeatability. If you look at your business and you find yourself doing something different every day, the only thing I know about your business is it's not going to go very far. Too much customization in any product or service that you're offering is always going to limit growth. That's why McDonald's is McDonald's. You walk into their shit. Would you like fries with that? Would you like a burger with that? And that's it. That's all they do. They offer the same thing every single time. The experience doesn't change. So the more repeatable you can get with your business, the better off you are. And that's why my agency started working with franchises, because we realized to scale, we can literally do the same thing in all these different cities. And that's how we went from like 30 clients to 200 or 300 clients in 4 months.
Wow.
That's the gap. Yeah.
Huge.
It's crazy, man.
So let's cover this. Like, what if somebody's saying, man, Billy's got this energy, he's got this personality, he's great on video, he's got these ideas, but I'm an introvert and I can't do that. I don't have the budget. What would you say to somebody that really wants to start advertising, but they don't have kind of the video skills that you do?
Yep. So you guys got to remember something. For every person that likes Billy Jean, there's probably like 7 who hate him. So my big personality, because I do get that a lot. It's like, well, you're charismatic and you're da-da-da. Guys, my personality rubs people the wrong way. I would say half of our customers, they go, the first time I saw you, I didn't like you. And I didn't give a fuck. I still offered them to sell them something. They just said no. So I kept asking them to buy something, and I did in different ways. And then they finally was like, okay, I like this guy, right? So my personality is sometimes a strength, but so is yours. So for example, if you see ad copy there and someone wrote something along the lines of like, look, I'm not the guy who's going to sit here in this news feed and show you some elaborate fancy video with a whole bunch of my team members running around in San Diego dressed up in silly costumes. I'm the guy who you call that does this every single day, that wants to get you results. I'm an introvert. I'm not that good on camera right now, but I can tell you what, I can kick butt when it comes to bringing you ROI. If you'd like to chat with me, click the button below on this messenger bot. See, now you just played exactly opposite of what I play, and it may even work better. So like, there's a customer for every customer, for every business. There's a customer for every business. There's someone who vibes with you more than they vibe with me, and vice versa. So you really just got to stick to your guns. And the truth is, nothing's going to give you the confidence to do this except for the results. So you really just got to put your first ad out there, because once you start seeing how people respond to you and like, holy cow, it will crush this limiting belief that you need to be a certain way on camera.
And I'm going to jump in on that too, because I'm all about being on camera as well. Mm-hmm. And something that I want to point out is it's always easy to point at somebody who's got the results now that you want, and to point at, well, he's good at camera, well, he's better looking, well, he's more confident, well, he's more articulate, well, he's got the money to do it. But you got to remember that at one point they didn't have a lot of those things. Like if you go back, I can't speak for Billy, I can speak for myself here, but I've put in over 5,000 hours of trackable time on camera, and I was garbage. I was worse than garbage when I started like 5 years ago.
I was too. Like if you look at our first videos, and you probably find them on YouTube, like you'll see the evolution. And even now, we still get better every single day. So, but I think that one thing that Mark and I both did well is we just became fearless. We had all the same stress and anxiety that you guys do, but we just put it to the side. We just did it. And then people started to reach out and say, hey, that interview really helped me or changed my life or da-da-da. And all of a sudden, the fear just becomes so small compared to that type of benefit. I'm
so much more excited about what being one of the best people on camera and the best people on stage. I'm more excited about working towards being that, because when you are one of the best people on camera, when you are one of the best people on stage, the amount of impact you can have in the world, the amount of influence you can have online, the amount of money you can make as a byproduct of those things is so much more exciting to me than the embarrassment and the uncomfortable feeling of being on camera or on stage in the beginning stage. So it reminds me of a saying from Michael Beckwith: pain pushes until the vision pulls. And I know that Billy and I and Austin and Peter, we have such a big vision for the impact we want to create in the world and the life that we want to have with the finances we can create, that I'm okay pushing through the fear and the uncomfortable feeling of being on camera and on stage in the early stages, because I'm so excited.
Too, and like, especially in the beginning, it's so easy to be fearful because usually your environment's messed up, meaning the people hanging around you aren't doing those things at all. But like everyone here on this call today, you're already winning, because look at who you're hanging out with today. Like right now on this call, you guys are probably all agreeing, like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do my video. It's easy to say when you're in the conversation. The second you guys stop doing stuff like this and you leave the conversation and you enter into a different conversation with a whole bunch of fucking people who are doing nothing and they're unhappy with their lives, that's what you get sucked into. That's where the fear is really created. But here, when I'm losing of confidence, Mark's losing confidence, Austin's losing of confidence, your whole entire support group, Peter, he's freaking right, you guys, it becomes easy. Those are the little tricks. So you guys are already 12 steps ahead of the game from rocking with these guys.
Huge. All right, we've got some awesome questions coming in from the Game Changers. First, I'm going to start with Quincy. Quincy asks, how do you determine if a marketing campaign is successful? What are some of those KPIs or numbers that you're looking for? Really?
I love this question because there's only one KPI. Did you make money or did you lose? I mean, I serious. Like, now listen, guys, when you get into some of like the Fortune 500,000 brand, like, you know, metrics change because these guys got so much money, it's different. But for 99.99999% of advertisers, you and I, everyone here on this call today, it's very simple. How much money did you spend and how much money did you make? That's it. Like, stop overcomplicating it. All these other, like, you know how many questions that I get, and this is when I really know how much experience somebody has, but you know how many questions that I get, like, well, Billy, look, I had all of these likes. I have all these comments. What does it mean? And I tell you, it means someone likes your shit. It means someone commented on your stuff, and it doesn't mean anything else. You know what I mean? Like, the cost per sell should be, there's two metrics that I focus on a campaign. For example, if my team is working on something and I want to know the health of a campaign, I want to know what's my cost per lead, and I want to know what's my cost per sell. Because I want to identify, is the expense coming from our advertisement or is it coming from our inability to close on the back end? So I understand I need to sit with the sales team and we need to do a training today, or I need to sit with the marketing team and we got to get a little bit more persuasive and creative with our offers on the front end. That's it. There's the only problems you ever deal with on the campaign.
Some of my two favorite metrics, I'll jump in on this, or I boil it down to two simple metrics. Customer acquisition cost and lifetime value. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, every marketer is going to agree that those two things are extremely important, because if I know how much I can acquire a customer, and I know that to give you a simple example, if I know that I can acquire a customer for $100 and in the first 30 days, they're only worth $100 to me, then you may not think that that's very good. But if I know the lifetime value of every customer within 6 months is $500, then I'm willing to do what's called a break even or a loss leader. I'm willing to acquire a customer at a loss or at a break even in the beginning because I know that my funnel or my sequence or my nurturing process is so well buttoned up that the lifetime value is going to make me money. And here's the crazy part, most of the biggest companies in the world, all of their marketing is either break even or loss leaders, and they only profit because of lifetime value. Think about that. Most small businesses try to profit immediately. Most of the biggest companies have created a model that allows them to have loss leaders or break even acquisitions because of the lifetime value. Billy?
Dude, I mean, exactly spot on what Mark's saying. Here's one thing I want to echo to people that you've probably heard before that everyone's probably ignoring. But you ever heard the expression, the money is in the list? So whenever you hear marketers or entrepreneurs or companies, they talk about how big is your list? How big is your list? Let me re-engineer that in your brain for you. It means this. How big is your distribution? If you need to get a hold of your customers or you'd like to make them an offer, how many people can you reach? That's what list is all about. So for example, let's say for a year you broke even. You didn't make any money. You're still at your mom's house, but people know who you are now. And now you have their name, email, phone number, and you have a way to get a hold of a customer in a moment's time right there. That is the sexiest thing ever you can have. So for example, Black Friday comes around for us. I think we sent out a total of like 7 or 8 emails, probably 4 text messages, and I don't know, maybe a couple other things, a couple retargeting ads, super duper basic. Guys, we brought in $100 grand. And you know where I was? I think I was with my parents or like my something. I don't know. It was all automation. It was all happening. But that was from you. Like, even though it sounds cool, like $100 grand in a day, dude, it was not a day. It was 5 years of building a list. 5 years of, like, you know how many people have seen me and that's like, dude, I used to follow you when you were at your mom's house that just now are buying. I'm like, where were you, bro? Where were you 4 years ago when I was running that promotion? This stuff matters. Documenting your journey matters. Tell your customers exactly, like, people stop fronting. Tell your customers where you're at. Hey, here's my business. I'm doing 5K a month right now. I live here. This is my life. But guess what? Over this next year, I'm on my journey to taking my 5K to 50K a month. And I'd love for you to be a part of it. Let them see it. That's how you build trust. That's how you win, is you become grossly honest. Like when I was filming at my mom's house, guess what? I told people I was filming at my mom's house. And my set looked like it. The recording I was using, it looked like it. Yeah, like people weren't surprised. Like, yeah, guys, I made that at my mom's house. Like, yeah, you did. Yes, it's true. He really did. He made it his mom, right? So keep that transparency. It goes far. It goes far with your audience.
Love it. This is from Tim. So, Billy, we could talk like 60 minutes about just your hiring process and what you do and how you do it differently there. Tim's getting ready to hire a social media manager. In your opinion, what are top 3 traits I should look out for? Or let me spin it a little bit differently. What are some different hiring tips that you would give him looking to build his social media side and marketing side?
Good question. When it comes to hiring on the agency side, you have to make a decision if you're farming or if I don't know where your business is at. If you're already in the 7 figures and you're looking to scale to 8, then you may want to bring on somebody with expertise. But I'm just going to assume most people are kind of just getting off that ground. So what you want to do, what I mean by farming is you want to look for people that you trust. Number one, trust. Can't say it enough. That you trust. Like if your wallet was on a table and you had a bunch of money in it, you know that person would never steal. They're innately a good person. I mean this. That's the number one thing that I look for. And then after that, I look for how they get along with everyone else that's working there. Meaning, if we were just to all go hang out and have a beer, then how would they vibe? Would they be happy? So when there was 3 of us and the 4th person came in an interview, I would say to myself, if I go to lunch with all 4 of these people, is this person going to like hanging out with us? That's check number 2. And then the 3rd thing I look for is if they like marketing. If away from us, they're still passionate about running ad campaigns and seeing the data and understanding the psychology of why people do what they do. If they're innately, they already have that passion. Those are the top 3. And then after those things, I focus on skill set. Because I realize in this industry being so young and so new, we have to train them, meaning farm them, build them up from the beginning. So I'll take somebody with 0 experience, put them through my own courses and trainings, and bet on them in the long run. When I first hired all my account managers here, they didn't know what the hell a landing page was. They know what it was. Take Rita when she first came in. She's been with me for almost 4 years now. Now, if I say right now I want to run a webinar funnel and I want to hit it to this audience, to this, I can literally go to lunch and come back, and then the team will have it all done. And I have to do zero. I personally haven't built a Facebook campaign. I can't tell you. I had all the strategy. But the nitty-gritty of doing it, that's the team. So you're investing into your employees the same way you would invest into the stock market or anything else, except these are people. So that's why those top 3 things matter first. I hope that helps.
Amazing. Good stuff. Boyd chimed in here. I wouldn't consider myself very creative and artistic. So what are some bulletproof marketing strategies to help me create content? So creating content on the other side, I think you kind of answered it with the transparency piece, but anything else to add to that for somebody that doesn't feel like they're creative, creating content organically, not just—
Sure. I teach about this every now and then. You may have heard me say it before, but one of my favorite things is props, music, environment. It's my way to make a video entertaining no matter what. Like, even if you're not entertaining, you think you're not entertaining, you probably are, but you think you're not. Props meaning, watch this. Immediately right now, if you guys can see me on the webcam here, I got books in my hand. And if I sit here and I start teaching from a book, I'm going to immediately engage you with these worksheets because I have a prop in my hand versus not having them. Next is music. If you go to free websites like audiojungle.com, you can search for music by emotion. Meaning, if you want to be in a really spirited mood, you can type in like high energy, you can type in fun, you can type in laughter, things like that. And it will queue up a song for you right there. And the next is the environment. Just change where you're sitting. Instead of sitting here in your office with a blank ass wall in the background, dude, go hiking, go to the top of a mountain with Wi-Fi.
I got 2 things to add on that, because all day, every day, I'm about content and helping people with their content. I'm gonna keep it simple. 2 things: motion and editing. If you add motion and you're moving around, and like Ty Lopez, his advertisements, he's always saying, let me take you through my house. Let me give you a tour. So he's always incorporating movement where he's walking around the house. So if anything, even if you're not interested in what he's saying, you're interested in all the stuff around him as he's changing. What Billy said is the environment. And he's doing that through motion. So that's one. The next thing is maybe you're standing in a studio or sitting here like we are, or maybe instead of a whiteboard, you can do editing where it cuts from out far to in close to on the side to up close to back here. If you look at TV shows and movies, mainly TV shows more than movies from a cinematic effect, but they never stay on one scene for more than about 3 to 5 seconds. Notice that when you watch TV, they never stay on the same scene for more than 3 to 5 seconds. So if you want to have more perceived entertaining content or less boring, as long as you're cutting the scene every 3 to 5 seconds, you're already going to be golden. And then you add some music behind that. So those are 2 quick things: editing
and right there, I love that. And guys, if you have 2 cell phones, there you go. Now you got 2 angles. So literally, if you're doing an interview style, I would take 3 cell phones. You put one that has the wide shot of both interviewers. You put the other one that has a zoomed up on one person and the other one with a zoomed up to the other. Now you got 3 angles. From 3 people who all have cell phones.
And I'm going to add one more thing on that too, because this is a huge important factor, is to understand that specifically when it comes to Facebook, which is one of the largest video platforms right now, YouTube is a little bit more long form, but this rule of thumb should apply to everything, at least when you're starting out and nobody knows you, likes you, or trusts you yet at scale. The average watch time on a Facebook video is 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're putting out a 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute video, I can guarantee that the average watch time is about 6 seconds. So you're wasting all the other time. So here's my advice. Keep all of your video content initially within about a 30 to 60 second time window. Yes, that's going to challenge you to have to simplify your message into usually one takeaway, one action step, one thing that the viewer receives, and it always leaves them wanting more. And so rather than you having people watch a couple seconds of a 5-minute video and their first impression and repetitive impression of you is they're always leaving, they're always exiting out of your content. Instead, give them a 30-second, one little sample. Like Costco gives you a sample, give them one little tiny piece, so they're always left wanting more of your content. And eventually you do put out more, or they can go to your website, or they can get your offer, they can opt in. You have to create this desire for more of you versus this exiting of your stuff because you're leaving them bored. And you got to remember, they're not on social media to watch a 5-minute, 10-minute video. They're there for a quick little hit of excitement, of entertainment, of education. So don't try to shove a 10-minute video on these people, always leaving them remembering you as the guy or the girl that I exited off every time I see your stuff. Leave them wanting more.
That's right.
Beautiful. Billy, this comes from John. How have you built a culture? And a lot of people in the academy they have maybe 1-2 employees, if any, and they're getting ready to grow that team. How have you really built that culture? What tips would you give them?
During the interview process, one thing that I'm very vocal about as a leader is everyone being themselves and being appreciated for themselves. So part of culture is really just your team being comfortable expressing who they are. That's when culture comes out. Culture just means is you guys look like you have fun and you enjoy being around each other. Well, remember how I hire when it's trust, and if they get along with us, when we bring someone in, we already know we like them as a friend. We don't know if they necessarily work as a teammate yet. We know if they're as a friend, so we have that. But then also too, when people interview, and we do live interviews, by the way, like if you go on Facebook Live, you'll see me in a group. I literally may tell someone to, okay, great question. Do me a favor, stand up and sing Mary Had a Little Lamb right now, please. And some people are like, no, that's not really me. Oh, well, this company is definitely not going to be for you. So like we're overly are who we are during the interview, so people know what they're going into. A lot of it's just like setting expectations and being grossly honest. Also, too, I started doing the interviews live because in our office, we got like 8 cameras and we're live all the time. If you're not comfortable with having a camera shoved in your face all the time, you're going to hate working here. And so really it's just kind of establishing that, number one, before anything, be comfortable with who you are. And it starts with the top bottom. So most of the time, if you see me in a video and I'm live in the office, I wear a basketball shorts and a t-shirt because that's who I am. But it also lets my team know that they can also wear what they want. I don't have a code for them. Everybody expresses themselves completely and they're embraced for that. So the more different someone is, like you hear and walk around in our office, people will compliment each other all the time on their outfits. Dude, that jacket is sick. Those shoes are great. Da-da-da-da-da, meaning their expressions of themselves. And we really embrace that here. In addition to that, every single morning we have a morning huddle up where literally I don't talk about business in it. Very little. Sometimes I do, but very little. But the other day it was, all right, everybody stand in a circle, look to the person to your right and give them a compliment. And then I'll put money behind it. Best compliment gets $300. So it's like, hold on, this is kind of a weird game. You just want me to fucking sit here and just compliment people? That seems forced. It is, until people start doing it. And you realize the impact, holy shit, that was a really nice thing to say. Or you find out someone thought a certain way about you that you did. It's amazing what it can do. So having these little morning huddle ups is everything. Consistently doing, especially when you're small, you literally need to be spending time with each one of your employees. Take them to lunch. You need to call them. I call them all the time. The team will spend time together on weekends. It's really getting people to love each other as a family. You love each other as a family means you accept them for their flaws, right? Regardless. So that's really what it is. I hope that helps.
Spot on. And transitioning from the hustler, do it all yourself to the CEO. What's that look like? Like, first of all, what do you spend your time on now, Billy? And how did you make that transition initially?
Cool. 2 questions in one. So number one, I spend all my time right now group selling to the masses because that's when the company makes the most money. My team wants me on stages because they know that's going to be more sales, which means more opportunity for everybody. So knowing the most powerful play that this company can run is put Billy on stage in front of the masses, a webinar, educating the groups, meaning that's when we become most lucrative, and the whole team being extremely aware of that. Then defensively, they can do everything in their power to win back my time so I can focus there. So I hire out everything. I'm extreme. I don't think I've met many people more extreme than me in this, especially at this young of a company. But guys, I don't remember the last time I've been to the grocery store. I don't remember the last time, like I won't get gas, I won't wash a car, I won't clean my house. And most people are like, well, you're just a stuck up, like you got money now and you think it is. And part of it's like, fuck yeah, I don't want to do that shit. But the majority of it is that's time that I could be using to group sell that everybody gets an advantage of. So the very first, my business coach, Cameron Harold, he said a great quote, and it was this. He said, if you don't have an assistant, you are the assistant. I love that. I'll say it again. If you don't have an assistant, you are the assistant. You like that? So that's what he said. Oh shit, he's right. But having an assistant, I got a couple years ago, smartest investment thing I've ever done. to take care of all these little shit. I mean, dude, think about, you guys ever spend like an entire day like rearranging your room? That's real money out of your pocket. Like, there's just wild things that we do. So it all comes back to really isolating your time so you can spend time on your profit-producing activities, PPAs, or profit-producing activities. You're not going to make profit from cleaning your room. You're not going to make profit from going to get gas. You know, like, so stop doing them. Especially 0 to 1 million, when all of your energy should be, 90% of your energy should be on sales and marketing. You got to knock it off. So get an assistant immediately, even if you can't afford them all the way. Here's the other thing in the beginning. People say, well, I don't have money to hire. Neither did I. You know how I was paying people for the longest time is I would go to the bank, I would get a cashier's check, and I would give them something. I didn't have a payroll, I didn't have HR, I didn't know what the hell any of that was. I just said, here's how much money's coming in. This is what I know. Here, take this check. And then they say, this is shit, I'm not making any money. I said, I know, but guess what? Our company is about to blow up. So if you don't understand how to sell, you're screwed. Because selling is not just about from you to the consumer, it's you to the team. So when I hired all these people, I had to sell them that we'd be where we are today. And let me tell you, not all of them were 100%, believe me, I had to sell them every single day with energy, results, progression, new offices. They see it too. So you got to sell your team. Now people look at our company and they say, great culture. Wow, this thing's really going to blow up. That's because I've been selling you for 5 years. So
I'm going to jump in right there. For the people that are getting started and have a small budget and are trying to figure out how they can allocate small tasks on a per task basis, go to Fancy Hands, and that's a simple platform that allows you to get things outsourced with an assistant for pennies on the dollar, literally like $30, cool. And you can get like 5 things done. So Fancy Hands, and they'll literally do. I
never knew about that one. I like that. I'm gonna note it myself.
They'll do virtually anything that you want them to do for pennies on the dollar, and you buy little chunks of projects. So like $30 a month, you're getting 5 things done a month or a week. You can do it at scale. You can do it for enterprise companies, small businesses. So this is a way for anybody to basically have a virtual assistant. Fancyhands.com.
So now you have no excuses right there. You literally
got no excuses right there.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to something that I think is really important, and I hear this asked by a lot of people. Somebody asked earlier, how do I know, what the best ways are to hire somebody for social media or for marketing? But I have a better question, and I hear this asked more often, is how do I know when it's more cost effective for me to go from outsourcing my marketing to an agency versus hiring it in-house?
So number one, this goes back to actually what I talked about earlier with the power of a sales funnel. See, the reason why, tell me if this is where you're going, the reason why most people won't make the transition to office employees is because your income is so unpredictable, because the inquiries to work with your company are so unpredictable. You had a great month in January, February when referrals were hot, when the timing was good and everybody was talking about fitness or whatever. And then March, April, May, June, you went to shit. You didn't know where business was coming from. Then summer was over and you had this other push because you didn't have it. What gave me the confidence to go and get the office was because, remember, guys, I had that funnel. And every time I spent $25, a customer would raise their hand. And it was so controllable every time. That's where the secret confidence came from, is from the ability to attract customers on demand. And the better I got out of that, the least afraid that I got. Now, having said that, there was definitely the level of fear, like, holy shit, I'm taking on every single move I've made. Like, it was the first office, my house, which was, I'll tell you, it was $3,200 a month. And I was like, holy shit, that's so expensive. And I can't afford that. What am I going to do? But I was like, you know what? Like, if I'm going to have an office and I need space for people to come, this is what it's going to cost. Cool. Okay. So I did it. The next was our office, which was like it was $3,500 a month for our first office space. I was afraid of that. This office here, it was $7,000. A lease I'm just about to sign this week to do a full production studio like you would see on Saturday Night Live. The lease, $25,000 a month. Guys, it keeps happening. But what gives me confidence? 2 things now. Not just my ability to turn on a campaign, but I own distribution now. See, I have 150,000 entrepreneurs with their name, email, and phone number who know who Billie Jean are. I do have millions of people pixeled who have watched our videos before that I can get my message in front of sheep. I understand distribution. I understand how to generate sales. And because of that, that gives me the confidence to make those moves. Usually, like almost every single time when someone won't make that transition that you're talking about, Mark, is because they're just afraid that they won't meet payroll. That's the other shift you have to do. The longer your goals are set to meeting, like being barely enough to survive, you will never grow. You have to switch. You have to switch your goals to thinking about what's going to be fucking exciting, what's going to be the crush it number, and you have to stick there. That way, survival becomes something that just happens and not something that you're fighting for every single day. I bet you a lot of you right now, you know exactly how much money you need to make to pay all your bills and da 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 da. If that's the mentality you're at, I know you're losing. I know you're losing. You have to stop. Got it?
That's the money right there.
It is. Paige asks, two final questions here, Billy.
Sure.
Paige comes with, what's the best and most effective way to start building a list for someone who's just beginning?
Have some kind of like secret hot sauce. Like, well, I'll tell you, the best way to give away, have a list either, is to give away something physically for free. I've run a lot of advertising campaigns for all kinds of different industries. If you can find a way to send out something physical to people, you will have people signing up left and right, giving you all of their information like crazy. If it's not physical, then have something that's really done for you. So for example, like right now, if I said everybody here, if you want me to mail you my Customer Acquisition for Geniuses book, which is a step-by-step of how to get customers like I'm talking about and how to use all these platforms and stuff, every single one of you would jump on it, okay? So this is physical. This is the highest form of attraction that you can use. But another good one would be this. Hey guys, I recently ran an advertisement for a dentist office and it went crazy good. And we ran 3 different ads and they all brought them over $500,000 of sales. Would you like me to email you those exact ads so that you can copy it? The done for you, the templates, the physical products, that's where you get all of the energy for your name, email, and phone number. Find it done for you. What can you do for someone to take it off their hands, right? Those are always the hottest, hands down, Paige.
Love it. And final question for you, Billy. So we started off talking about the YouTube and the power there, the potential there. People are going to have some action items after we get off this call. One of them is going to be YouTube. What are those first things that they need to be thinking about as they're creating their YouTube campaign?
Great. So first things first is start a Google AdWords account because that's where you create the YouTube ads from. Beautiful thing about Google, they have fantastic support. A lot of you are used to Facebook where you know you can't get on the phone with anybody, most likely. YouTube, not the same. You can get people to call, they'll set you up, they'll walk you through it. So the very first thing you should do after this call is go into AdWords and actually go through the tutorials. It will teach you how to use them. And they're actually a lot simpler than what you think and very, very similar to Facebook. Next is find out if you had to ask yourself, if there was a gun to your head and you can only solve one problem for a business owner, what's the first thing, like, actually, let me give you a better example. If you guys have kids, I have a daughter. Let's say your daughter's hanging off the edge of a cliff. And the only way to save her is by solving one problem for your potential client. But you have to solve that problem. If you don't, she's going to fall off the cliff. Whatever you have that kind of confidence to bet against your daughter or your family member, whatever it is, that's what you should go all in on. And that's all you should talk about on YouTube is fixing that one problem for people. Just fix that one problem for people and charge them for it. And then after that, you can upsell them on all kinds of other stuff as you get better at solving other problems. Just one thing. Maybe it's retargeting. Maybe you're a great person that just does retargeting. Maybe you're a great person that's good at people at mending relationships and fixing them. Maybe you're good at, bringing back friends that haven't spoken in a long time. I don't know what, just that one thing, and all your conversations should be around that.
Amazing. Billy, this has been just absolute fire the entire time. What do you have going on right now? Where can people connect with you? How can they continue their relationship?
I would say easiest way, guys, just subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're going to see us in 2018. We're at 15,000 subscribers now. We haven't really focused on it ever. You're going to see us go from 15,000 to about 200,000 by the end of next year. Remember me saying this right here on this call. It's going to be December time. You're going to see about 200,000 subscribers. If you want to see that process from A to Z, follow us. Go ahead and youtube.com, Billy Genius Marketing. And then also follow us on, here's what you really do. If you like free cool shit, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Billy Genius Marketing. Like it, but get notifications for when we go live. Remember, our whole office is designed almost like a TV set. So we got like 8-10 cameras rolling at all times. It's like Big Brother almost time. So when we go live, you can learn a lot, see the inner workings of the agency, how we build our schools, our businesses, and that whole deal. So it's nothing to sell, but please believe when I have you on live stream, I will sell that ass. See, I'm already setting expectations. When you come, right? So there you go.
Exactly. Love it. Billy, much appreciated. Absolute gold. So much value. I'm excited to talk with all the game changers and look back at 12 months from now, how much money, how much impact, how much success this one 60-minute call really produced. So thank you.
And guys, really quick, I'll give you a tip, final thoughts if I can. But right here, hanging out with Mark, Austin, Peter, like, I can't stress it enough. It's so easy to get distracted by losers on a day-to-day basis. And here's the sad part. I'm gonna hit you with some honesty. There's a good chance that your mom's a loser. There's a good chance that your dad's a loser. It's a good chance your best friends that you know since you were 4 that you hang out with every day, they're fucking losers. And you have to make a decision so that you can actually help them and bring them up. But first, you got to be the person. First, you have to have a strong foundation to stand on. So I want to give you, more than anything I'm giving you today, is I want to give you permission to be grossly selfish, to build up a strong foundation, a strong empire, so that you can help those people that you care about. But right now, you need to turn away from them so that you can focus on you to get to where you want to go, because they're holding you back. It doesn't mean you love them less. It means the opposite, actually, because you're actually doing what it takes so that you can be in a position to help them. That's what I want to leave you with more than anything today.
Amazing. Perfect way to end. Billy, thank you. Mark, we're going to stay on and wrap up real quick. But Billy, appreciate you, bud.
Appreciate you, sliding out. Later, y'all.
Peace, man.
All right. Mark, that was some absolute marketing gold. You know a lot about marketing. You've been in the game for a while. But what was your biggest takeaway here today?
You know, I think it's a couple things. One is what Billy just said. Sometimes I think we can let our ego get in the way and think, "Oh man, that was so rude. What a mean thing to say." But let's just be straight up. There are people in our lives that are not helping empower us. They're not helping inspire us. In fact, they're disempowering and they're expiring of the positivity, of the confidence, of the certainty for our vision, for our growth, for our contribution, for our business. And it's just a fact. So to piggyback off of what he just ended with, you are in the right environment. You are around the right people. Being part of Peter's community and being close to Austin and I and all the other amazing people like Billy that get brought into this community is just reinforcing that you are in the right place and you are part of the right group and the right community. So pat yourself on the back for that, because half of the battle to success in life is environments. As long as you get into the right environments, your happiness, your quality of life, your health, your wealth will be in proportion to the environments that you are consistently conditioned within. So you're in the right environments. It's only a matter of time before you start to get the results that you have or continue to build even more momentum as we go into 2018. So environments, that's number one of my biggest takeaways from Billy. And then the second thing is that Billy just hammers home every single day. He lives it. He breathes it. It's his name of his company. You have to be marketing. And so I remember that one of the biggest shifts for me in business was building the confidence of feeling that even if I don't succeed right off the bat with my marketing, that this is the inevitable progression of what has to happen to grow into the business, to grow into the person that I talk about, that I study, that I want to have and to be. It's only going to happen in proportion to my ability to confidently spend money online, to grow my brand, to grow my awareness, to acquire customers in a profitable way, to build a list online and in emails, which I don't think building the list is as important as just first spending the money to get used to that feeling. It's like you make the excuse that you don't have the money. I can barely even pay my bills or break even. How can I just frivolously test money online? But Billy always is reinforcing that you can just start for a couple $100 a month and then learn the process. And even if you're failing, what you're really doing is you're learning. If you're not profitable right off the bat, those are ways for you to say, why? Why was I not profitable when I spent a couple $100? Why did I not generate the results that I wanted? Go back to the books. Continue to ask questions in this community. To continue to go and watch all of the amazing free content that Peter Austin and I, and more importantly for this conversation, that Billy puts out. He said, go and watch his live streams. I'm telling you a little insider secret here. The stuff he gives away for free is the same shit he gives in his courses that you pay for. The difference is he puts it together in a faster, more concise way and answers your questions. So the secret to what Billy was talking about, to summarize the whole thing, is you've got to start practicing spending money on marketing, but first, learning how to do it in an effective way. So you're not just throwing money out there, but you're doing it in an effective way that produces the results that you want. And more importantly, you already are in the right environments, but make sure that you're not just in the right environments, but that you're staying out of the other environments that maybe are destructive, because you don't want to be in a good environment and a bad environment throughout your week. You want to try to disconnect from the negative people, the toxic environments, and stay more involved in these communities. Create these communities. I hear people all the time say, well, this is my virtual community, but in my real life, right, my physical world, it's toxic people. So I love these online communities, but when I go back into the real world and I hang up and disconnect off of this, I'm back in the real world. Figure out how to make it happen. There's only excuses if you let them be. I remember when I only had toxic people in my life, and then I started to figure out that the best way to get the toxic people out was to go to networking events, was to get on an airplane. If you live in Mississippi and you don't have them there, get on an airplane and fly somewhere. And if you need to, get up and move. Don't let, where you live geographically limit the people that you're going to be around, and limit your ability to grow and contribute and to experience what you really want, simply because you think that you have to live in Ohio. Like, we got Peter and Austin. They both moved from little small towns to move to, Temecula and LA and San Diego to get in where the real stuff's happening. So you guys are already in the right environments, but make sure you're getting out of the toxic relationships and environments as well. Because sometimes I hear people say, oh, this is just my virtual. What about real life? We talked about that. And then you got to get out there and you got to start marketing. It's very easy to do, but the only way to do it is to take action. And if you can do it yourself at first, awesome. But if you have the money, outsource and delegate it, for crying out loud. If you're not good at marketing, you either need to learn how to do it or you need to outsource and delegate it.
Yep. That is a perfect way to send us off before you get back into the whirlwind, before you go into that environment, whether that environment is good or bad. Take some time right now. Let all this digest. Go through your notes. Circle the most important stuff. And then most importantly, take this into an action plan. Go back into the Facebook group. Share with me, number one, what's your number one big takeaway? Number two, what are you going to do about it? What are those action steps that you're going to put into place right now, here today, here this week, and ultimately start to get more traction than ever in your business? If you're not focusing on sales and marketing, your business is not growing. And if it's not growing, it's dying. All right, sales and marketing, that's what really where it aligns and where you should be going in 2018 and beyond. Guys, amazing questions. Awesome conversation. Mark, I appreciate you for coming on and filling in for Peter and having such a great conversation. Appreciate all that you do. Guys, really excited for what's going on. Really excited to hear your success stories from a marketing perspective. Remember, simplify, take away different things that you're going to implement right now, here today, here this week, and we'll see you soon. That's it, guys. We'll see you.